Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Space Ghost to bring you guys 20ZC versus MAL. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 10, Week 7B, and we're reaching the final day of the regular season. This is the last match. This is actually going to be played at the same time as the other remaining match of Reupload versus Insect Gang. And after all is said and done, we will have the brackets and the standings ready to go for playoffs that will begin in 1 month in space. There's still some wiggle room for MAL to break themselves out of 4th seed here.
There definitely is. Mal have the chance here. Technically they have a harder path to do it, but technically their fate is in their hands. But before we really get too deep into the nerd emoji math of it, do we maybe want to go over rosters or something?
Yeah, that's probably for the best. I mean, it's late in the season, but you never know. People, maybe they weren't here the other weeks when we talked about the 20ZC roster change, which I'll go ahead and go over their roster now. It is Brand Slam and Howard on Scout, Ash and Artist on Soldier, Jay on Demo, and Zilly on Medic.
And for MAL X, we have Shamu and Scratch on Scout, Tripwire and Aim on Soldier, Psy on Demoman, and Dank on Medic. And yeah, I will say I'm excited for tonight is going to be Metalworks. And as Jarrett mentioned, the Fryotech versus Insect Gang match is being played currently. Both MAL X and 20cc are sitting on the same win-loss apiece, so whoever wins, Froyo and Mal both have the same win-loss. So if one team wins and the other team loses, that team is getting 3rd seed. We're only really playing 4 seeding here.
Yep, and who knows? I mean, that can make or break whether or not you go into the upper bracket. Even though, I mean, I think some people will just look like, oh, but seeds 3 and 4, like, you know, it's whatever. They'll be in the lowers. But it could be one of those seasons. You never know. There's been plenty of times before where someone has a breakout performance and beats their opponent that they, you know, as the underdog. So you definitely want to make sure you have the desired matchup. And it's kind of interesting because there might be some preferences that might not match necessarily with the actual numbers. I guess it's going to kind of depend on the team by team based on who they actually think is easier to beat, just play style wise, and like trying to combat their map pool and things like that. But at the end of the day, they're still going to try their best nonetheless for practice sake, as there's a lot of room, but it's still, you know, days tick by as you want to refine all the maps. And Metalworks is definitely going to be in that pool to pick ban for BO3 and then probably BO4 with 1 map advantage grand final. So another map on the list to make sure you have refined. And this map of Metalworks, it's actually, I think it's MAL's most played map this season, and for 20ZC, it's their 2nd most played, right behind Process. So it's not like some, you know, oh, I guess, you know, make sure we play this map once. No, they've had some time to figure some things out. So I'm kind of curious how 2 developed playoff level teams are going to actually execute all their initial strategies.
Yeah, looking at the map bans here on screen, curious to see that 20cc actually banned Bagel against Mal. Maybe it's maybe 20cc either doesn't want to play Mal on Bagel, considering Mal did beat Fryotech 4-3 on Bagel, or you know, maybe they just they already know how they feel about it and they want to get a better map. Whereas Mal, they banned that's not Sultry, that's
Villa.
Villa, thank you. Brain fart there. They banned Product and they banned Sunshine. And all those bans kind of make sense to me. Mal does not seem like they want to play Product much, if at all. Doesn't seem to be their cup of tea. But it's good that at least they have one cough. And having at least one cough map on your pool that you feel confident in, I think that helps your map pool so much. Because you have to ban double cough. It makes it really tough to get the 5 CP maps you actually want to play. It's getting at least one decent cough is so important, in my opinion.
Yeah, MAL definitely shying away from a lot of the wide open maps. And I will say, 20ZC, no matter what happens this match, they are pretty much locked in for 2nd seed. So for them, this is, I mean, the map bans, you don't have to ban necessarily to like, oh, we need to make sure we win this match, because its importance for them is, you know, no much more than just a normal scrim. So they could be trying to pigeonhole like map for practice sake. You know, maybe they just want to keep playing Metal and keep refining it. They did pretty, or at least like having it in the pool rather, and not like banning it and then banning these 3. Maybe they are just not interested in playing Mal on them. So it's kind of hard to say definitively what 20cc's inspiration was for narrowing the pool, but I think Mal is definitely on brand. And before we get too deep into Metalworks, we brushed on it a little bit. Can you give us a little bit of an insight on what we should be expecting here if we are looking for either one of Mal or Reupload to land in a desired seed.
Of course, rev up your nerd emojis, because get ready for a little bit of numbers here. So, looking at the seedings, we do have Mal as 4th seed right now, Freya's 3rd seed, but Freya's only like 0.15% match points ahead of Mal, and if they have the same record, it's going to go down to match point win percentage. And that is going to go down to... So it's kind of odd. You would think even if they get the same win-loss, like if Reupload and Mal both 5-0, Mal actually is going to have a higher win percentage because they've played less matches, so that 1-5-0 is going to like shoot up their score a little more than Reupload in terms of percent won. But Mal has to win this match, and it does come down to wins first. So if Reupload wins and Mal loses, it's going to be Reupload holding on to that 3rd seed. But Reupload have a much easier job, but it's in Mal's court in terms of if Mal does get the 5-0 here, or if they just outpoint Freo in any way, they can get the 3rd seed. Which is funny because they have to beat 20cc to get the 3rd seed to beat 20cc again. Yeah, to play them. Yeah, it's
if you want to play them in playoffs, you got to beat them now. Is basically the short of it.
Yeah, that is basically the short of it. So even if Reupload plays perfectly and 5-0's Insight Gang, technically Mal can still pull it out and get 3rd seed. So Mal definitely have something to play for here.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Metalworks. I don't think we've seen Mal in cast play Metalworks too much. My memory might precede me a bit, but I know recently you definitely saw 20ZC play versus G6, and that was quite the match with some back and forth. Any memories that come from that matchup when you think about what 20ZC could be bringing for the table, or what we might just generally expect in the match overall?
Well, I think we briefly talked about it before the cast, was the mids, definitely. I believe 20cc looked pretty good in the match, but their mids were not super hot, if I recall correctly. Maybe you can correct me on that one, but they didn't look super hot on the mids, but they ended up, being very strong on the map overall. We'll hope they fix that, but this seems to be a comfort map for Mal. You said they played it the most, so it's definitely a map they're not afraid of playing at all, which is, I guess that's the definition of a comfort map, is, yeah, I'm okay with playing that.
Yeah, especially when, realistically, you're not going to get your favorite map because it's probably going to get banned by the others, so all the maps you eventually play in the regular season are just going to be the leftovers, and everyone just kind of, okay, yeah, sure, we'll play that, and then that's selected at the end of the day. But, yeah, as we go into predictions, there's a part of me that's not really sure what I want my score to be, mostly because I definitely feel like that 20ZC, they have something to prove in terms of showing that they've had some improvement from their G6 match. Obviously, it's a different opponent, but to play that many mids and only win one of them and have none of your plan Bs work throughout the course of the match is concerning. So we'll see what time has done and if it's allowed them to kind of revamp what their plan A is going to be going into this match. But I also kind of think that they definitely showed that even though, like, okay, maybe they lose mids, but their transitions and making sure they can hold on to the round for as long as possible and get rounds, even when they lose the mid, is definitely second to none. And Mal definitely, might have some struggles pushing. If you dug a little bit, you might have noticed that tends to be a thing. But I'll say, as this is a super long roll as we're going live, I'll say like a 3-2 for 20ZC. What about you?
That's what my brain says. That's what I think's gonna happen. But my heart wants Mal to win and take 3rd seed just for chaos. And the 4th place Banny meme is always a classic. So I'll say like a 3-2 for Mal. I think it's still gonna be very close, but I think Mal does have the guns to pull it here. Speaking of which, we're gonna be arriving on the mid. Men actually rolling out onto the high ground here. Artist gonna make a bomb on side, gonna actually kill side. Ash gonna be the trip behind and heading a huge rocket on the Brand Slam, but the kills are all going the way of actually, they're dead even, but Dank is alive. It's just Dank and Scratch versus 3. Can he hold on here, and can they keep Dank alive? Looks like they are going to back up here. That's a pretty wise decision, and no flanks coming in for 20ZC.
Yeah, 20ZC, they really sold out in the very beginning of the mid to try to kill Dank and did not succeed, so they gave up a lot. I think only one of them died of the soldiers that bombed in, but still the fact that that was your distraction and the damage output was not enough between 2 soldiers to get the kill is definitely very telling that, you got a lot of frags and you took the mid, but now you're in a bad spot where Dank has full ad, they're inside house. It looks like they might want to immediately pop through if they don't go out backdoor, and they could definitely find some people side jumping through. He hits his face. unable
He's
to get
still
a safety
going.
to catch out Jay, but the scout speed is there. The back rotation for Demoman are so difficult on this map. He does indeed get out, but it's Artist and Brainstorm are going to be the one to fall, and Aim giving up his life for it. So overall, 1% advantage gained from that Uber. MAL giving it up, and Zilly, he has to buy some time for an Uber of his own, but the fight has already began as they're going ahead and bombing in after the mid cap.
Yeah, MAL knows they have to be aggressive here before Zilly gets the Uber. Trip bombing in, going for a play, but Shimu's behind. They did expect it. Howard looking at the shutter door. Gonna kill Shimu means that the sack there did not work that well, and now 20ZC in a very good position to punish that aggression. I like the theory there from MAL, but unable to get that Zilly force or kill means that it's gonna be a free mid, and potentially 20ZC, they can get a second push in if they're really brave, but maybe not. They're gonna actually try to stack the cap to get players. Not gonna get the players. And Dank built the super pretty fast. He's already back up on it.
And Trip poked around, saw them coming from Alley, and the Uber is available for the side of the blue team. Bomb coming from Artist, by actually a decent amount of space, but no one has really committed from either side. Just some damage to, actually, Uber coming out. Howard got a bit weak. The Uber's popped off, running forward. Sai gonna be saved, so not really chasing too much from the side of the blue team, just holding around, but the flank is on the move inside house. They recognize that no one is there to kill, though, so go ahead and back up, make sure they're not, launched on from the side of back door or anything. End up feeding. So overall, just an exchange forced by some incoming damage, and at the end of the day, no frags in the post as both teams are sitting back building, making sure they have that Uber available to use if things go sour once again like they did not expect. And looks like we're really going to be sitting here for a minute as we really get down to our first real stalemate.
True. I feel like I say this a lot, but a very classic stalemate of Metalworks mid to second. I feel like I've seen a lot of teams end up just kind of hurtling out here. Because you can sit a lot of players Valley, but it's also... The defensive team here does have a lot of advantages in that they can push lower pretty hard. Like, if 20ZC gets super aggressive in Valley and their sacks don't work, MAL can just push lower and really punish it, so you gotta be careful when you're sacking into this point that the counter aggression from whatever side's holding second doesn't do too much to you after your sacks.
Yeah. Oh, actually, initiation coming on to Artist. I think Aim tried to try to poke around in the hallway, but was not able to really get through. I think there's still stickies there in the hallway, despite Jay being over on the flank side. And he will eventually death, though, so that is no longer be a threat for the side of the blue team if they decide to initiate again. But Ash bombing in will actually commit more to the sack. Dank getting a bit weak, but no one else is really committing. They're just kind of poking around still, trying to apply some extra damage. Dank is trying to make sure, getting a health pack, but hallway taken by the side of MAL. They're not actually counter-sacking yet. I mean, Trip's kind of aggressive, but there's no way he's going to bomb from here this late. Seems like it's going to kind of just even out. Opportunity lost for the side of MAL to be on the move as 20C has definitely vacated the area all the way back to mid, and just going to be the one man. Ash respawning, normal soldier class coming up, so no off-class shenanigans of sniper or spy, and we're probably looking for another bomb, but maybe they'll come in from a different angle to try to execute it slightly differently.
Sai's watching a trap in lobby or something. Like, he has like 8 stickies, but they're kind of on the wall. I feel like they're gonna spot them. I don't know. Sai is playing 5D chess or something. Who knows? But Artist passively watching lobby is 20CC. They are gonna send everyone into Valley, at least mostly everyone. Ash is gonna be the bomb here. It's gonna land on a scout. They're getting good pressure, and Ash actually manages to get out. 20CC buying a lot of space. Scratch actually going to fall to Sticky, so that is a good opening pick there. As now Sai's getting bombed on. He actually does manage to get a pretty good surf and get it, and now Howard's spot too, so that is their 2-man. No one else really hurt, no one popping their Uber beats. They're gonna have to back up here. Here's that aggression from what we were talking about. Jay actually gonna be very hurt. Should be getting aggressive, and Aim. Jay might be caught. He does get the pack, and they're actually gonna force to save him. Aim gonna trade his life for it.
Oh, Spoon? Oh, does not work out in Artist's favor.
They dropped
Actually,
Shimu,
never
though.
mind. He gets a kill. I was gonna say like, oh, the Spoon didn't work out, and it was like, oh, he gets the force. Oh, he got a kill. Just kept getting better and better, turning a bad situation into a good one. And overall, 20ZC, and they're probably fine. They ended up using the Uber to save the Doman, as they technically have a, I guess that's even on players. They don't really have a player out. No, Aim's not there, actually. They have a small window to work with, and they're trying to go for it. Space being made by the side of Ash, trying to work his way through so the scout can get pretty aggressive. And they are actually, Howard just is up there on the point, but will get taken down by Trip. Nice hurt. Rocket from the side of Ash to, definitely put Aim almost into the grave. And I mean, they got some room, but not enough frags. Actually, no frags, as we're actually going into our first pause, it looks like.
Yeah, that is going to be our first pause, and 20CC had the damage. Both Shimu and Aim were in red HP there, but they were so far back, unable to get that kill means that MAL's almost turtled this out to resetting it. I'm actually curious if MAL's going to want to reset this or what happens, because this pause is 90 seconds in the future, so this might be after a mid-fight, potentially.
Maybe. Or, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is for Dank's mouse.
Oh, really?
I feel
Do you
like
have the lore here?
yeah, I think Dank's mouse is a bit scuffed. So
Ooh.
if it's a tech problem and a not attack, which it's too early to be attack, that's where my money is. Is Dank's mouse screwed up or something, and he's like has to fix it.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come at a critical time. Having your medic having PC issues is probably the worst person. I'm actually going to trade for Artist. That's a pretty decent... Actually, wait, they're both still lose, right? I keep taking Artist on demo.
So Jay falling, he was inside the bottom door of lobby and just met his match and ends up dying, but Sai, the same fate. Will fall, Shamu trying to find Grand Sam, will get that frag, but the red team, over on the side of the second point, bomb coming from Ash, the Uber will get forced, trying to make sure this force does indeed happen. Bazilli in the corner. Will eventually have to use much better Uber from the side of the red team, but they're kind of deep. Yeah, they get the kill. They're going to definitely need that, but they have no one available for the post. They're all rolling out. Will still be able to live. He takes one rocket, surfs into lower, still barely alive inside of Artix. Howard will eventually fall from a rolling out aim as the reinforcements have arrived from the side of the blue team, cleaning up house. Zilly has to be careful. Jay's rolled out, but not to where Zilly is. He just goes down, drop down to save him, but he gets the kill. I thought that was going to spell his end. Zilly loops back around and gets the arrow on him and keeps him alive. Branson on the chase. They're trying to clear the scout that was indeed weak and is still very deep and actually might even go behind. Just giving him looper on fine. Tank one shot, trying to bait the scout down, and the bomb comes in from the side of Ash off the confusion. Jay's boat alive, and Jay just gets another kill. What is this madman doing? Trip's going to be able to get him, but the cap does indeed go the way of 20ZC, preventing the round from getting reset as Scratch and Shamu have both fallen. Scratch the second one, and with no scout speed, this is going to be really rough for the side of Mal to be able to go ahead and use this ad. So this, it actually was attack pause, and it was right now. That's okay. Well, they're gonna have to be pretty crafty with this. No scouts for the Veil. Actually, okay, never mind. I was gonna say no scouts available for the blue team, but I guess they don't need them.
Who needs them when you have Sai? Speaking of which, Trip and Shamu are gonna be pressuring in lower. Shamu actually running behind, and they know about it. Scratch gonna die to a trap is pretty rough now because Shamu's behind. Want to see if he can get out. Jay is playing with fire this entire game. Jay's been playing like demos a pick plus, and I guess you know Jay's innovating the meta.
Definitely living by the if you had fun you won strategy, and hey, it's working. With 2 frags up available in red team's favor. Got some respawners coming in, but Ash has already made use of the open door. Tried to find a way on the side, dropped a bit low on top of the point. Dank disconnected just a tad, and the demo man will fall from the side of the blue team. Bomb coming in, tons of damage, and the force on the side of Zilly's Artist trying to bomb in to be able to salvage one rocket on a Dank, but Brand Slam will eventually get that force, going ahead and running forward, giving up his life. Uber coming forward from the red team, trying to chase in any frags, but Jay will catch Trip on his way out with that trap in the shutter. He's actually wanting to fight. I think he knows that his teammates are respawning, but the timing might be a bit off.
Gotta be careful.
Ash has only just arrived, and Jay has given up so much of his HP, but Ash will be able to eventually trade for the side of Shamu. The rest of the red team working their way through. The cap goes in favor of Mal, but they're right back on it, the side of 20cc, making sure that it's locked down.
Oh, Aim's gonna bomb for this. They want to fight.
Sai fell to a pipe. Aim tries to make space, but Sai's already dead, and they're trying to back up, but unable to escape in time. The side of 20cc working their way through. They've made themselves available to get in through the top right area, just buying room for Artist to bomb in. Some damage, some frags, only Dank and Shamu left alive, trying to get on the point, but there's too much cap time, too much resistance, too much to deal with. 20cc leading the beginning of the round for 1-0.
Yeah, that was... I feel like that was going so well for Mal when they were holding second, just like... And then once 20cc got that first second cap, Mal just was unable to get back into that round. Pushing out at last was a lot tougher than holding second, it appears. And yeah, not a great start if you're Mal going down 0-1, but we are arriving at a new mid here with the... God, I forgot how long the Metalworks rollout was.
It is very long, but oh my god, Ash did a fast bomb all the way back. He's actually getting the pack inside alley, so there's one less soldier available on mid as he sold his bomb forward from blue team, but Ash coming in late, finding side behind, dropping it a bit low, but the frag, okay, will eventually go. Branson able to clean up that frag, but it seems like deja vu. I mean, they've given up a lot and they got some frags, but oh dang, it caught on the wall. Just now scout speed, they might be able to catch him, but they were a bit weak. It seems like the chase is a bit slow from the side of 20cc. They're on the move, some nice rockets, some aim to slow them down, and yeah, this is some serious deja vu with just a couple of different classes. A different take on executing the actual mid. It seemed like they went for a long con from the side of 20cc rather than going for an initial bomb in, but still, Mal are able to just survive, concede the mid, and just opt to go for the Uberad push.
Yeah, I mean, it is a strategy. They're just like, hey, let's just kill their mid and repush mid. If you really feel that confident in your mid pushes and your Uberad, it is a viable strategy, and that appears to be what is happening at least so far. Now going to send a lot of players into Valley. They actually are going to use now Sai hitting the bomb. They are going to get Howard, and Zilly's all alone backing up. There's 20 ZC players are all out. Zilly not building super well just because he had to back out without healing people. So not an immediate repush, but they still have very sizable advert here.
Yeah, getting the tail end of the last bit of the percentage now is I imagine they'll probably wait for Howard, maybe. I don't know, actually that's a long walk. They probably can't wait for Howard. Yeah, that's too long of a walk to actually wait for them. They just have to go. So flank a bit weak, so there is some room for MAL to try to go for a flank pay if they so desire, but actually Trip took a ton of damage before this push even begins. I guess he lost a spam war in the side of house, so I guess the push is slow enough that he is available
20%
now.
left.
They're going for it. They're actually going for the flank. But Howard is here though inside the house. The 20cc members turn around to try to deal with this play that's being done by the side of Trip and Shamu. Shamu's actually worked all the way behind, is dragging back 3 players, and this play has actually worked out in MAL's favor. I mean, they've bought time for the Uber. 20cc have completely killed the push, and Shamu's still alive, full HP, getting shot in the back. Just tab might be able to get the edge onto Sam. Really weak. One more shot, but not quite enough. But Artist does indeed die. So overall 1-for-1 trade, and MAL, they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, huge plays there from Shamu. He bought so much time, and even though Grand Slam?
He was like really deep and lower. He got a shot in a dank, but just not quite enough to get the force.
Yeah, both medics are sitting on full HP, and yeah, MAL is, say what you will about the strategy to just kill their mid and leave, but it worked out for them so far. They're sitting on mid, ready to sack into second, kind of a reverse from what was happening the previous round. And yeah, on this, I'm curious how MAL's actually going to sack into second, because we saw how 20cc did it, and it took a hot minute. It took quite a while. Now, they're just finally getting settled in, and they're already like a minute and a half down, as Trip is going to bomb. He's going to bomb Ash, actually, and he's going to trade, so we do have a trade there. Means one less top plus 2. Artist is very deep, though, in Valley. Actually, MAL's going to back up off of that.
Yeah, I think
Trip out the trade.
I think the only other person that would ever go in is AIM, and he's definitely not in a position. Over in house, unbuffed, not really able to get through the doors. I think they were poking around in the hallway as well, just a tad, just to see what was up. And I mean, Artist is not. I mean, Artist made some space, but not really enough for 20cc to keep the ball rolling. So I think Trip just recognized that with the single bomb that Zilly and Jay were clumped and not in a spot to really get either of them. So just try to go for the single soldier inside lobby. Maybe he'll be able to live after that and
they just want
some
scratch
capacity.
Sniper.
But yeah, seems like Sniper is gonna be the play. It's gonna be a sec before he gets there, and he's rolling out all the way from the spawn. So you have to bear with us here. The clock is chewed.
He's got to go on some long distance hiking here. Is gonna walk all the way? I wonder if he's gonna snipe in lower, because if he goes lower and just tries to cross, he's gonna get spotted. Okay. This is actually heads up. If MAL makes space in lower and drags people back, this is a very good place to get players who don't expect a sniper. Yeah, look at Ransom. Like Ransom's getting baited in very hard if they don't realize. And he's going for the. Okay, no one's in like the feet angle. I think they might know.
I think they do know. Yeah.
It looks like it.
They
now
Howard's
spotted.
Yeah, Howard's seen it. So the question is what do you do here at the side of 20cc? When do you pull the trigger and say this sniper is too far forward? We need to be hyper aggressive, even though it's not really our job to try to break this stalemate. Or 2, do you just look at the time left and say, let's do another mid? But there's the pick that they needed. Artist will fall. Scratch getting that first entry frag into trying to break this stalemate. Fly shot and Ash, not quite enough to get the kill there. But MAL, they're on the move in alley.
They have.
Yeah, they have tons of space.
20cc is 5-man hiding in a corner. They want to just exchange immediately.
It's a blind Uber through lower. I mean, it's going to take a sec for them to actually get to dank, but the first shot from Howard will indeed land, so this force will indeed come out. But Jay, 3 HP, will die to Trip. Where was even Trip? Where was even Jay? A dead Dillman on the field is bad news for the side of 20cc. Scratch will indeed die on the sniper class. Trip making sure that Howard doesn't die over on the flank. And that was a really ambitious Uber going straight through lower. I guess they assumed a sniper and the rest, the entire team was going to be in an underpass, but it feels like they pulled the trigger a bit too early.
Oh, headshot rocket onto Zilly, and Trip is going to get that sack there and the medic kill. So now huge ad for dank. Huge plays there from Trip, and yeah, 20cc looked so uncomfortable the second Scratch went sniper. They pretty much fought like 6-man hit in the corner, then lost a player anyway, and then 5-man into the corner. Instead of like standing anywhere else, they just felt that they had to exchange to just play the game. So 20cc definitely something to note there, as they looked so uncomfortable trying to defend against that sniper.
Yeah, it might be something that MAL thinks of when you get later on in the match. And we're halfway through the match. There's not that much later on to really go, but a whole lot can happen in a single minute. As Uber comes in from the side of the blue team, going over the right side of the map, making sure the gun is indeed taken down as they actually bomb from Psy over to the bridge side as the double soldier bomb gets a lot of damage on Artist, standing still for an arrow and be okay to continue fighting on. Same with the side of Trip as overall this Uber gets the gun and not much else in terms of frags. Damage all across on either
going for the
side.
flank, though.
Oh, I think it got pretty far by someone unable to initiate in. And MAL, I mean, beginning, fine. The first half of the Uber, you go in, you get the gun, but then after that, what? Chase a kill and to no avail, no cap time. It didn't seem like they knew exactly what to go for, and they definitely picked wrong chasing a kill.
You ever just see how a team pushed into last and no one died? Like, they went in, too. Trip actually going for a flank play and is going to get that Shimu also behind, and this is going to create such a distraction. They're going to get probably Uber off of this, or at least very close. So they sacked 2, but got 1, and they're probably going to get Uber off of this. 20cc got to be very careful here.
Now trying to work their way through lower. Artist, oh, he tried to jump up into a scout, and Howard, oh, he barely gets saved. Uber coming out, trying to actually go for Psy, who is not beamed, and oh, what a great play. Recognizing that you can go for that demo and make sure that would have been unable to chase, yeah. Giving up his life for the demo, but the fact that the force doesn't come out, I mean, getting the demo, yes, but neglecting the force, I don't know. Okay, it happens anyway.
Here it comes.
I mean, I guess that's what you want if you're the side of 20cc,
yeah, they just want
but
kills.
It might be too much already. Jay, he's over off the side, completely alone away from his team. Very
they're gonna chase Trip.
Characteristic, but
Amy's on the point. He's gonna get bombed by Artist and Shabu. They're gonna get a spawner. Oh, but Howard hits the shot. It's just Dank. Dank actually, he's kind of caught in. Psy's rolling out, but it's just Psy realizing he can't do anything there. So a good attempt by MAL, but they just couldn't get enough kills. The spawners were in 20cc's favor, and unable to capture that point. That's one that I like the theory behind it, but they were just unable to get anything. And Psy holding some traps here in lobby, but 20cc not rolling out the proper way to run into them yet, although they're thinking about it.
Yeah, 20cc gonna have to claw back a bit, and they have the ad to do so after almost. It kind of felt like, in a way, they were almost throwing it away? Question mark? Just a tidbit, just a little tiny amount. But they have some room here. 50% at, nothing to sneeze at. They're working their way over towards the point side of the doorway and immediately popping through, getting some damage onto the alleyway people. Trip half HP will, eventually die. Jay expended a lot of HP for it. Some spam actually coming their direction. Have to be careful, but they will be able to get out and. Yeah, no cap time. Uber actually almost available for that side of Dank. Not able to really block there, almost. But they may immediately start this push while Trip's still dead.
They don't need Trip. They're just going to walk in, see if they can get... Psy actually might be caught out here. He's getting bullied by a soldier, but he is actually going to get the kill. So that's 2 kills, and they haven't even popped their Uber yet. And Artist going to fall through. Artist does get a trade, but they walk in, get 3 kills, and no Uber pop. Means this could go very poorly for 20cc, although they do have 2 spawns. They got the kills early. Psy bombing super deep. They need to get point time here. They do have stickies on the point. Jay is going to be the one to block it, but they're not getting any kills. The 20cc spawners have arrived. Did they get any point time or captures? Oh!
Yeah, a lot of damage from the side of MAL, but it seems like they were a bit confused on what they wanted to actually achieve. You have people turning around for the other guys behind, and then other people trying to go for the point. I think it seems like it's going to overall work, but...
Oh, there's the air pipe, but
Jay,
air pipe out of the thing.
It's not going to work. How?
Oh my god.
The littlest thing. Shamu actually might go for this 1v1. Knows the timing.
He should.
Oh, yeah,
this one.
Respawn is coming. It's just the little things. You see people getting on the point, and you know that they're gonna lunge forward from the spawn to try to block it. Yet you have people turn around, caring about the dude behind. Screw that guy. Seems like MAL. The pattern is they're really unsure what they want to focus on these last pushes, and that was the best example of the tiniest thing is just leading to what could have been a 1 point easily just kind of thrown away.
Yeah, these are so close. It feels like just like razor thin margins of error here, and it feels like that error is just, they seem just a little, like you said, uncoordinated or just unsure of what they want to do when they're trying to go into last. It seems like a lot of people are doing different things. Like whatever 20cc is doing, definitely throwing them for a loop. It's not like they don't know how to play the game. They're just something's tripping them up.
Yeah, the chaos is definitely working in 20cc's favor. Is these heat of the moment comms of trying to figure out when 2 or 3 different things are happening at once, what should be the priority. People are gonna have different opinions based on what they see. Might get some things misconstrued, and definitely got to play like a well-oiled machine if you want to make sure that everything works out in your favor. But at least the silver lining from the side of MAL is it was just an opportunity lost. They still have some room to try to go ahead and get this force, but Trip, Zilly's nowhere to be seen. Ash tries to go in immediately for a counter sack, and both soldiers finding no damage out of the medic, so that will definitely not be a force from either side as Oh, see some poking from the side of MAL. They might use the room of a soldier not being there to stuff the doors to be able to maybe go for a second bomb. Aim's trying to go in for the gun and will get it, but give up his life. So the gun's just going to get rebuilt. Dank's actually going to take some damage himself, so has to be careful as rest team begins to back up Dad. And Howard might go for a hero shot. Can be pretty spooky. This is a pretty respectable sight line, but no one will find themselves inside it.
Yeah, MAL settling into, playing the slow play here. As 20ZC, they're actually getting very aggressive with the Howard Sniper. They wanted to at least try to do something to get off last, and it's actually not going to end up doing anything. They're going to back up, and MAL not really positioned to punish that. A lot of aggression there. I feel like maybe if they really want to. Howard actually still peeking the doors very aggressively on Sniper. This can be a deceptively good sniper point just because the shutter doors and all these, really tight corridors. It's deceptively good. You can definitely trip people up with how long some of these sightlines are. Like the one that Howard's looking through now, just at that shutter door and the really long angle.
Yeah, and then the same could be said in the other direction if MAL decided to go sniper themselves. The fact that you could make Zilly get out of the passive spawn area, put him over by the dispenser, hearing the sniper sightlines aggressively, could be very big for the stacks coming from the side of MAL, but they will indeed two-man. Chemu will take the brunt of the center gun, so Trip can get his bomb off. We'll go for the sniper. I don't think he once again, did not really see Zilly. It was pretty passive and got one rocket on the sniper, but surfed away, unable to find the frag, and 2 kills. That's plenty for the side of 20cc to kind of poke around off of Howard inside lobby. The rest of the team kind of following behind him to give him some space and see what he can see. Dank, but he has to be careful. Open shutter might be too close to really deal with. That was really spooky. But at the end of the day, nothing will come of it. Howard back to last with the rest of 20cc is not really going for a hard counter sack when you have a sniper.
Yeah, pretty hard, and that sentry is also in a very good spot in that it's kind of tough to spam. You have to peek an angle, or you have to get your demo open a shutter, and that's a pretty good opening pick. Howard gonna trade his life for aim. Howard dying there is a little sad, but Ash actually gonna fall through. People are dying all over the place, but that's a scout and soldier down for both teams, and if MAL want to do something, now is a pretty good opportunity. They have 45 seconds left, and it's a 4v4. They might be able to get in position to spam here. Jay's trying to lock out the door. They have Stickies behind. Scratch gonna fall as well. Trip desperately trying to live or not get air shot. He's gonna fall, and that's another 2-man sack, but they did not get anything that time. Down Trip and Scratch, and 20ZC look like they're just fine with resetting this round.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to work through. Even if you even if you pushed for sure all the way through, I mean, you could still end up screwing up somewhere holding too. So just sitting up with the defense. Uber coming in straight onto the gun. Zilly is actually pretty passive, doesn't even need to use his Uber yet. We'll go into Howard just a tad. They're committing somewhat because they know they have to get some cap time as the overtime is not ticked down yet, but 20cc, they've only lost one. They haven't even used their Uber. They didn't even need to leave. They just got to sit on the point. But will they be greedy? Will they try to go forward? But I don't think that, not really going to be able to get to 2 close enough in time to be able to start that cap. Is very content with the round reset. So we'll see if they're able to have a... I mean, it's weird to say a round or a mid where they win because they've technically capped first so far, the side of 20cc. But it's been with heavy casualties for just to get pushed back and immediately lose it in the leapfrog scenario. So we'll see if they can win it in a more convincing fashion this time around. So I'm sure as the mids go on, we'll see some adjustments from both these teams.
Definitely, and I'm curious if Zilly can actually live through one of these mids, or if MAL is just going to keep sending a lot of players for Zilly and successfully getting him, as Jay's actually going to fall back pretty far in Valley. He's pretty hurt, whereas the health on MAL isn't as bad. As I say, that Trip takes a bunch of damage, going to get the pack, and Howard's very hurt. The health for... Okay, there goes aim. So first kill is going to go the way of 20ZC getting MAL, as Trip is also so hurt, he's basically out of this fight, and 20ZC winning this mid pretty well. Scratch also falling late is not good. Sai also very hurt. Means that, although Jay's just bombing forward, did Jay just...
So aggressive. I don't know. I guess maybe he thought this team was going in, or maybe he just saw an opportunity, but giving up your domain, you definitely want to get a lot for that. And oh, the soldiers might find it. Sai might fall as well, surfing up into the air, and yeah, he's definitely dead in the grave. Will die to the crater damage, and that was the good start of the mid, and then 20cc definitely just completely turned around. I think MAL might have gotten baited by like a call that a Delman is just a free and alone and a kill on 2, and Floodgate's just open, and they're still going. Aim might find himself dead, and he will indeed. Actually, there's tons of room for the side of 20cc to work forward. Uber exchange coming through. Dank trying to find a target will indeed find Trip.
Oh, Scratch got killed in spawn. He was literally 1 or 2 HP and just falling. And that's going to be rough as Dank going to die. This looks like a 20ZC round unless something very disastrous happens. Well,
the whole round, it never reset. There was never a point of breathing from the side of MAL. I mean, they lost a couple people at mid, started back up. They thought there was some, oh, we can get a kill on 2. Nope, just lose half your team. and then all of a sudden, all right, okay, let's set up on last. Wait, 3 in, our pocket's dead. Like there was non-stop bad situations, and definitely want to prevent that and turn that around and at least go back to the mids where even if you lose it, you can keep your medic alive and re-push back in. But 20cc, it seems like they found the move to win these mids.
Floated up in the air. Speaking of which, Ash doing the mid again where he just falls behind. That gets Sai immediately falling means this mid is pretty much already a wash. They do manage to get Artist and Howard, but Zilly death means that this is going to be pretty tough. It's just aim, trip, and scratch. And they're actually going to back up and try to see if they can get any miracles done on second, because mid has definitely not been it. 20cc fixed whatever is going wrong, and Zilly has been staying alive these mids and looking very happy and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, they haven't lost a mid yet. It was just the first 2 ones were really weird. You know, you want to make sure that, yeah, you can win mid, but keep your medic alive, maybe at least kill theirs. And they've had mixed success at killing Dank, but this is a much better situation to be in than the previous couple rounds. And looking to increase their lead. They have a decent ad to work with, and Jay's actually one that's going to be making spaces. He takes an arrow, but still dies of Shamu.
Oh,
almost
Sai?
didn't get that frag, but Sai is going huge right now, getting some damage. We'll eat some arrows to stay alive. The Uber will come through. Howard chasing for it to try to find
and that's a Dank too.
Will indeed die. Same with Sai. He's off and alone. He might be able to get a couple pipes, but not will. None will connect. Aim, same thing. 1 rocket, not enough to really do any damage to clean up these remaining players. Actually, they're pretty healthy throughout of it because the Uber. So great plays from the side of 20C to really put the pedal to the metal and bring the Uber into the lobby, prevent them from really running all the way back to last. And the push might even begin before half of 20cc is even really there. It maybe try to find a kill, but yeah, I think they'll recognize it. Not really fully prepared as a team. We'll go ahead and not take the high risk, high reward scenario. Just got 30 ad, might as well use it.
Yeah, 30 ad. Again, that's not super big, but it's enough you can push last and feel confident. You'll at least be able to get the gun and get a chance to collapse on the mid before they get their Uber. Although they gotta do, yeah, look at them go. They know they have to get this Uber pretty much as soon as they get, or Dank's going to get mid push. We'll have to see how they like to go. And the level 2 is actually, they didn't shoot at the very end. Howard gonna fall blocking the point, actually gonna end up trading his life, and Aim gonna palm Jane actually dying. Dank gonna fall as well before he gets his Uber. Okay, yeah, this is 20ZC's round to lose right now as it just scratched and he's gonna fall, and that's gonna be a 3-0 currently for 20ZC. Is yeah, Mal looked pretty good. They looked pretty even early on in the match, but past 2 rounds have just been total washes for Mal.
Yeah, the pace is definitely set by the result of the mid fights, and you can see the difference in the last pushes as well. A couple opportunities for both these teams, and 20cc coming out 3-0 so far. Recognizing, doing a pretty good job, not enough frags close enough for us to get. Let's just get some cap time, bringing them over, and then we'll kill those people. And it's definitely working out in a much better fashion execution-wise. Trip trying to copy Ash going behind, but we'll get chased down by Bransom and we'll likely die, so that's going to be all for naught, as Ash is doing the plain play, but actually both the soldiers not really finding tons of space. But
Sai might be
Sai alone will die top right, some damage onto the aggressors, but Aim just levitated in the air, will get scattered down from Brand Slam as the rest of Mal tries to hightail it out of there. Artist kind of in hot pursuits, but will not really be able to chase as the rest of G6 coming down the bridge that will get some extra damage onto Scratch and may be able to kill him. Shamu trying to apply some back, but maybe giving up his life. Some damage onto Artist will take an arrow. And Bomb coming in. Blind will indeed 2-rocket Artist, bringing him down on the grave as 1 soldier dead for each of these teams. The Artist being much fresher as Aim is already respawned. And there's some wiggle room for some shenanigans to happen from the side of Mal. There's some initiation here. Uber coming in onto Jay will indeed save him with the Uber of their own from the side of 20cc. Is they're trying to find someone to frag, but yeah, they will indeed get that frag. As Sai's poking about, will
Mal's fighting, they don't care.
Howard. Both teams are definitely saying this is their point. Nice direct from the side of Aim. They're dropping like fries on the side of 20cc. They were unable to hold their ground as Artist, last one left alive, and he's the one that died earlier on before the Ubers were even popped in. So Mal did a really good job of recognizing that, we can force the issue. There's a hole somewhere here. We just have to make sure that we abuse it when these Ubers go off. And not only did they abuse it, but the post was beautiful as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful post. I was pretty worried for Mal there. That post looked a little sketchy. That's the word I'd use. But Mal ended up just kind of hitting your shots, and if you hitting your shots in this game can make up for a lot of other flaws. Is they definitely were able to hit their shots there. Some nice directs from Aim, nice pipes from Sai, and that puts them back in the driver's seat. They are gonna have to. So if Mal wants to win this, they're gonna have to win a 4-3 as we do approach the map time. So, there goes Dank.
There goes Dank. He was almost at the ramp too. Just barely didn't see him, I suppose, but that's huge. That's a drop from the side of Brand Slam, so that's going to definitely change the pace of this match. They do have a sniper, and MAL does indeed know this, so they know the flank might be a tad weak, so the question is, will they indeed go for this force, or will they try to do some house shenanigans? But it appears it will be a bomb from the side of Trip. Fades back just a tad as Ash is trying to buy some space. Making sure it's easy for the red team to work their way up and give their sniper some room to click some heads. But overall, just a conceded point. Classic Metalworks, just back up, give them the point, build some Uber. That seems to be the case for some teams sometimes, and it's definitely the case now. As 20ZC, I mean, they got a free point, but they still have plenty of time to go ahead and use this Uber. The ad was huge. They only have one person in alley, so they're going to have to, play a little bit faster to make sure that it doesn't turn into an accidental Uber exchange. But they're definitely still on the move, and MAL are actually working their way into the hallway. They're finding the sniper, maybe throwing Artist as well, so overall this flank play is generally successful. Ash is going to fall down, drop down, as they're running forward using this Uber to try to get any kills onto the combo, but only aim will fall from the flank play, working their way behind, so...
This could be a disaster.
They have two to work against right now as MAL is on the move.
Yeah, MAL is on the move. Trip is making so much chaos behind. Look how many people he's drawing back. Look at the damage he's doing.
The entire team.
And Trip is doing massive mental work out here, and he's just collecting every pack in the server. He doesn't live, right? There's no way.
No, he lives.
Oh my god. Okay,
Space
Trip,
underscore created.
That's my number one, and Space was indeed created. And speaking of Space, Ash is going to bomb in and make space for his own team, but even though he got a lot of damage, it wasn't enough. He was going to back up, and that was some huge plays there from Trip. That looked pretty unfortunate for MAL. Looked like they were about to lose the match, but they able to come in, flank a MAL buying enough space that they now have well, it's not Uber anymore, but they have even Ubers into second, where it previously looked like they were about to lose the round.
Yeah, too long of a walk to really use that ad extremely confidently, so just gonna go ahead and take the slow route, and they don't want to screw this up, and no, they're in a pretty good spot. No off classes here as the sniper died way earlier, but bomb coming from Trip. Actually, nice rocket on Azili. Will indeed get the force. And actually, it's a two-man. Jamu came in, distracted a bit, but we'll find Jay. I guess Jay was letting her lobby, maybe going for a pack or something, but yeah, Shamu is still alive. He's on the point. We'll find Branson.
He
just gives him the TV2. Gets that kill. He's on a 7 killing spree, and will indeed die to Ash, but Ash is going to have to give up his life for it. The only saving grace is Artist is an underpass, might be able to bomb, but the timing has to be right. Has to find the scout lone. We'll finally go in. One missed rocket, but the team hasn't fully left yet. They're still here. Artist will indeed fall, and overall the play will be unsuccessful at blocking the point. The rest of MAL work their way through the left-hand side of the map. Will immediately find themselves Howard, who is backing up to try to live, but the Uber coming in from the side of MAL. Bomb from aim. Will be able to collect Zilly, so no Uber will come from the side of the red team, and Jay falling as well, so no sneakies on top of the point. Sai finding himself alone. Maybe we'll get taken down by Ash, but there's too much cap time, and MAL finally puts themselves on the board after the timer is well and done away, bringing the game 3-1 in 20ZC's favor.
Even that last fight was a little sketchier than I'd like, but they did end up getting it. But I feel like MAL's last pushes have really just sunk them so far. They've had so many opportunities, and while they did get one successfully, even that one, it was a little closer than it could have been.
Yeah, but the news story is the mid fights is, they had a plan in the beginning, MAL, but 20CC has definitely shown that their plan B is good enough to keep themselves in the fight, so we'll have to see what MAL brings to the table, as they definitely need to change something immediately. Double bomb coming in from the side of 20CC, landing on top of the roof, trying to get some damage onto Dank. He's alone, the scout coming in to help, and Artist will, oh, he's gonna die for fall damage. Dank does indeed die, but Zilly is already dead at the same time as well. Overall, they've given up so many resources to try to kill what? Trip? Dank? I don't really know if they were counter-initiating, but it's just not quite enough. You need to kill way more than Medic Branson. Only one left alive. Will indeed can't kill Shamu with his last breath, but MAL, some slight adjustment, enough survivability to make sure that, yeah, you can kill our Medic, but that's all you're getting, and well enough a way to bring themselves their first technical mid-victory.
That is, and I don't know if, has he been on Pain Train the whole match?
Don't think so.
I saw he's just AFK on point at times too, so Sai, I guess, I don't know what the theory is, but I like it at least. Sai doing some experimentation with some old weapons there. Love to see it.
That's the classic. If my team isn't capping, then I'll cap.
It's a very good unlock, I feel like it's underappreciated, not enough objective-based gameplay in TF2.
Yeah, it's kind of rare to see Doman do that. I think, in the past you can see me use it sometimes, but for the most part it's just like bottle, katana, whatever. The skull cutter era.
Skull cutter is still underappreciated in my opinion. Very powerful weapon. And instills fear into the hearts of your enemies, but now in a position here to sack. They have the luxury of time to worry about much. Trip actually gonna bomb in, gonna do a fair amount of damage, but no actual damage onto Zillion.
Shamu. Oh, he's just trying to go behind. What? Ransom just got sauced.
Shimu's, a lot of people are getting sauced by Shimu recently. I don't know what happened, but Shimu has been turning it up.
Yeah, definitely showing that Metalworks is his map, and definitely got to pry it from his cold dead hands. As you know, 20cc gonna have their work cut out for him if they want to claw themselves out of this this second hole that they're in. At least both teams have their Uber to work with, so there's a little bit of comfort there. But Shamu has arrived on. Well, he hasn't arrived. He has to roll out. Sorry about the long rollouts, but he has shown up on Sniper, so it's this scout of Mal's turn to see what they're worth on the off-classing, which I would assume first shot through underpass? No, maybe trying to nail the roamer through the hallway. I don't know if Ash saw it or not. I didn't have the camera ready. Maybe they know? Maybe
I don't. If they don't know, they're definitely suspicious, because Mal, taking longer than Mal usually does, actually do something. They're going to spot lower, and Shimu's biding his time, waiting until someone calls that there's lower. Now it's been spotted, because Brand Slam doing some good old spins in midair to not get shot as yeah, we'll have to see what Shimu wants to do. He's actually just continuing to watch overpass, and look at Mal. Mal's getting a very aggressive field. 20cc is, again, 5-manning in the corner. They really are respecting the sniper's highlights.
Yeah, we'll have to see how 20cc decide to deal with this. Last time they did a really aggressive mover. This time they do a double bomb through alley and some scout aggression, and it doesn't really lead to too much other than some damage, but at least they still have their Uber held on to. I mean, last time it was pretty disastrous for them, so they're in a pretty comfortable spot over in the corner, but for how long will they allow Shamu to keep raining down shots? That's the thing. I mean, there are some universes where taking that Uber is worth it. You just have to notice that they are indeed close enough, and it's time to pull the trigger. And you know, they're thinking about it. They're poking just a tad. They're in the hallway, and actually looks like they're gonna go for Trip instead, and he's been a bit too far forward. Some spam through back door, make sure aim indeed collects that frag. So overall 1-for-1. Oh! And the shot from Shamu. Zilly drops to the floor dead. Uber gone in a way, dissipating from the servers. The floodgates might have been opened up now for the side of Mal to be on the move. Actually, no. Because Shamu, he recognizes I'm on Sniper, Trip's dead, we don't have a flank, we can't push. He's actually going back to spawn, Trip holding the door open to make sure that they can have a flank and allowing Zilly to roll out to be there. Wait, they just left completely, never mind. My camera's not looking at the right thing at all. They just vacated too.
They did, and that's how you know Shimu's not a sniper main. A sniper main just brainlessly stays on Sniper. Shimu, not a sniper main, knows, you know, Sniper's not that useful pushing last year. I'm gonna get on Scout because I'm a team player. So heads up for Shimu there, actually doing that. But yeah, 20cc vacate the last here, not even attempting to do anything on second. Size jump getting pulled a little bit, but 20cc are very deep in spawn, but they're not getting any kills so far. Actually, Abe's gonna be the first to fall. They do get Jay, but Sai gonna fall as well. And these Mal last pushes, they're actually committing. They know that they had such a large Uber and it doesn't even matter, but they aren't actually able to get the round, even though they went down in kills. At the end, they do get the point time, and that's really all that matters. And that's a 2-3 for Mal, clawing their way back into this match. But they got out of their mid fight, and they did win their last mid fight, their first like actual mid victory other than the initial ones.
And they're getting some improvement on their mids, getting some improvement in their last pushes, and it might just be enough for them to work their way back up and take this match. But there's still a long road ahead, more rounds that need to be collected on their side than the side of 20DC as we go into another mid. Shot from Trip. Oh my god, goodbye, Jay. Bomb coming in from Ash all the way behind as well, and 20cc, they're still kind of showing themselves on mid. They're actually playing this at a really fast pace, knowing that this is in the bag for them if they can find the way onto Dank. Art's bombing in, only one rocket will connect. He surfs way over to his own truck, and 20cc, they need to get themselves out of dodge. Oh, actually, no, never mind. They find the kill on Shamu. I spoke too soon. The scouts have fallen, only Dank left alive, trying to give him the jukes, going back through backdoor. Is he gonna be? No.
There's no universe.
Getting that kill. That was almost disastrous for 20cc, but they definitely recognize that it's okay. I mean, as long as we play this fast enough, the trade of losing our demo for the soldier is doable, and they proved it in that mid fight.
Definitely did, and 20cc can be very happy to win that mid fight. Getting full Uber ad here, Mal's got to have a pretty good last defense here, as they don't have time to do sacks or anything on second. They just got to set up and hope for the best, as we are on match point. So 20cc wins this last push, gets the map. That's it for the match, and Mal is going to be the 4th seed, going to have to play against G6 in playoffs, and Sai is watching a trap.
And we may see the book getting closed here for the regular season.
He got baited.
Yeah, just dead. Doesn't really work out, but the die has been cast when it comes to door choices. The gun immediately falls in. Double scout Uber, making sure that it doesn't... They're just on the point, ×4. Double bomb incoming from the soldiers, but there's so much cap time, it doesn't even matter. 20cc just banking on it. It's okay. Double scout, get the gun, remove the stickies. I mean, who cares if they bomb? It's too much cap time to deal with, and definitely I don't think they showed that last push strategy yet, and it was enough to secure the round and secure the overall map for them 4-2 in their favor.
4-2 in their favor, and to give an update, Tech did defeat Insect Gang 3-0, which means Tech is going to be your third seed, and MAL is going to be your fourth seed. So I guess the third place bandy beams have come true after all these years.
Yeah, still got a lot of room to work with here for all these teams, though. Is got a month to refine some things, and it's going to be an endurance test as the match happens back to back over in December. But I mean, good job from 20ZC. Really, they didn't need to win this. Their seed wasn't going to change no matter what. But they definitely showed that Metalworks. There's some good parts and some bad parts to it, but they definitely shine through and are good enough to beat MAL, at least for now. Is we're not really going to see this matchup. I guess this matchup in particular is not necessarily guaranteed in playoffs now because of the result. So this might be the last time you saw these two versions of these teams play. We'll have to see how things shake out as when upper round 1 goes through.
Definitely, but I think MAL, all is not lost. I think they had a good showing overall, and it's unfortunate you can't get the win, but definitely I feel like they have potential in this map. I wouldn't pick this map if I'm MAL, but I'm also not afraid to replay. I think they can work out the kinks. It's not like things are totally lost, and I think the MAL flank actually really shined there for a couple times. Shamu and a Trip making absolute miracles out there. So, all is not lost, as they say. On to playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's the classic mouse special when it comes to them showcasing, at least in what we've seen in the cast in particular, which is like maybe a small percentage of their overall games. Is they have a lot of promise, but there's always there's one or two things that really catch them just a tad, and the other teams are able to definitely make use of it to collect rounds and win the matches. So I guess fingers crossed for MAL fans that they could use the month to kind of refine that, and also fingers crossed for 20ZC fans that they keep the ball rolling and use the momentum of second seed, nothing to scoff at. Might do enough damage to finally get the win versus G6, which they're pretty close to so far this season. So I think, as the teams have said through multiple interviews across the 7 weeks that we've been playing so far, I guess this is technically like week 8 for advanced teams and stuff. That this should probably be one of the more interesting playoff seasons we've had in a long while.
Yeah, I think this is truly one of those scenarios where anything could happen. I think G6 are going to come in as the favorites, but G6 they've had some crumbles. They've had some upset losses in the past. They've had some Tech comebacks on them that have been pretty hard. So I truly think anything could happen. But 20ZC G6 first seed, 20ZC second seed, Korea third seed, and MAL as the fourth seed. That's a pretty good playoff bracket if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and I guess for clarification before people begin to exit, I think interviews are still pending. I feel like we're probably probably not going to get them. Like we said before, for 20ZC, this was just another day at the office. Didn't really affect their seed or anything. Basically a scrim for them. It was really important for MAL, but playoffs, December 10th. December 11th, that's right, December. So we got a month to really go through for these teams to begin to practice, and it'll be over that weekend, Saturday and Sunday, beginning sometime in the afternoon and running into the evening. Will be the upper bracket round 1, upper bracket round 2, and lower bracket round 1 on Saturday, and then Sunday it will be lower bracket round 2 and grand final. So the short of it is at the end of Saturday, you'll know the first grand team, the fourth place team, and then the rest of it will file out on the final day. So definitely don't want to miss it. Got a long way to wait for remaining invite casts, but it'll definitely be all worth it for that weekend.
Are we doing LAN?
It's online but LAN style.
Okay, I gotcha. That's pretty cool. So yeah, a little bit of a long time to wait, but we might have final later between. I don't know. Next week is Thanksgiving if you're American, so.
Yeah, all the I don't know about week by week for holidays and stuff like that, but generally for other streams, I think the Highlander will continue as normal because that's just a normal bracket where you play it week by week and it's not all crunched or anything. And then of course the 6 divisions that aren't invite, I mean you don't see them here, but if you watch player POVs or other orgs cast them, that is also going to be week by week. I don't think that's crunched either. So you might have to get your TF2 fill in from those outlets while you wait for the invite TF2 to catch up, but it'll definitely be worth it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we're on to the shadow phase. Anything else you want to add, Jared? So playoffs December 10th, 11th, a little ways off, but the wait it just gives you that much time to build anticipation and hype.
Yep, definitely shout out to all the viewers, all the teams that participated this season. Give us the info to watch and cast all of these games. Hope we're doing you justice, and everyone enjoys what we've been doing here, and we'll definitely give it our best in the weekend next month. It's definitely going to be a doozy for us. So, we'll do what we can. But other shout out to Slam House for all the tunes before the streams, and I think that's about it for me. Anything from you, Space?
No shoutouts from me. I'm giving none, not a single one.
I gotta save it for playoffs.
Exactly.
There'll be plenty of post-match shoutouts to give as we go between the matches. But once again, before we sign out, December 10th and 11th, so definitely don't want to miss it. But there's going to be Highlander, I think. Actually, I don't even know if there's Highlander next week because of the holiday thing. I don't know how that shakes out. But there's week by week, there will still be Highlander. But for tonight, that'll be it for us. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jarrett, casting my Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.